screen. So everyone come sit here so you can take a look at the screen. I can't make it any bigger than that. Hare Krishna.
श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. Hare Krishna everybody. So before I begin with the Bhagavad Gita, I'd like to recite a few verses in glorification of Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara, without whose mercy you wouldn't have any holy scriptures and any way to focus on Sri Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Paschitya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Everybody all together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langayate girim Yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Dintarinam Paramanand Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Shri Nitai Padakamalam. I'd like to recite a few verses from the Gita Mahatmya, which speaks about the glories of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Gita dhyayana shilasya pranamya parasya cha neva santi hi papani purva janma kritani cha. If one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of his past misdeeds will not act upon him. The Lord says this very loudly in the last portion of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Maline mochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine sakrit gitamrita snanam samsara malinashanam. One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in water. But if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganga water of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavanaham Avyayam Vivasvan manave praha manur ikshvakave bravit yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam Dharma samsthapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvataha Tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti sorjuna Karma no hyapi bodhavyam bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha Akarmanascha bodhavyam agahana karmano gatihi Karmanya karmaya prasayed akarmani cha karmaya स बुद्धिमान मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृत्स्नकर्म कृत् नायं लोकोऽस्य यज्ञस्य कुतोऽन्यः कुरु सत्तमा श्रेयान् द्रव्यामयद्यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञा परन्तपा सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिश्रमाप्यते तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः संन्यास्तु महाबाहो दुःखम् आप्तुम् अयोगतः योगयुक्तो मुनिर्ब्रह्मा न चिरेणाधिगच्छति ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि संगं त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न च पापेन पद्मपत्रम् इवाम्भसा शक्नोति हैव यशोधं प्राक्शरीराविमोक्षणात् कामक्रोधो भवं वेगं स युक्तः स सुखी नरः भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकामहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य स्थिरम् आसनमात्मनः नात्युच्छ्रितं नातिनीचं शैलाजीनाकुशोत्तरं त्रिकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यथा चित्तेन्द्रिया क्रियाः उपविश्यासने योग्यात् योगम् आत्मविशुद्धये श्रीभगवानुवाच पार्थनैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चिद् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति प्राप्य पुण्याकृतां लोकान् उषित्वा शाश्वतः समाः शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टोऽभिजायते अथवा योगिनामेव कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्धि दुर्लभातरं लोके जन्म यदीदृशम् तत्रातं बुद्धियोगं संयोगं लभते पौर्वदेहिकं यतते च ततो भूयः संसिद्धो कुरु नन्दना योगिनाम् आपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां स मे युक्त्वा तमो मतः हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम यं ब्रह्मा वेदांत विदो वदन्ति परिप्रधानं पुरुषं तथान्ये विश्वोद्गतेः कारणम् ईश्वरं वा तस्मै नमो विघ्न विनाशनया। ओम तद्विष्णो परमं पदं सदा पश्यन्ति सूरयो दिविव चक्षुराततं तद्विप्रासो विपन्यवो जाग्रीवं सहसमिन्दते विष्णोर्यत् परमं पदम्। ओम माधवो माधवो वाचि माधवो हृदि स्मरन्ति साधवः सर्वे सर्वकार्येषु माधवम्। ओम कृष्णवाय सच्चिदानन्दगणः कृष्णनादिश्च कुर्वन्तो स्वस्ति मे लोकपावनः कृष्णो ममेव सर्वत्र स्वस्ति कुर्यात् श्रिया समं तथैव च सद्कर्ष्णिः सर्वविघ्नविनाशनया ॐ पूर्णमदा पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदक्ष्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्चं जगत्यं जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जिता मा गृदा कश्यस्विद्धनम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततेलपूर्णा प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमया प्रदीपा श्रीव्यासया विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वे ब्रह्मणे धये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहे तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहे ॐ आजानुलम्बितभुजो कनकावदातो संकीर्तने कपितरो कमलायताक्षो विश्वम्भरो द्विजवरो युगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियाकरो करुणावतारो शङ्कर्षणः कारणतोयशायी गर्भोदशायी च पयोदशायी शेषश्च यस्यां सकालः स नित्यानन्दाख्या शरणं मम समस्तु त्यक्त्वा सुदुश्च जसुरेप्सितराजलक्ष्मीं धर्मिष्ठार्यवचसा यदगादरण्यं मायामृगं दयितयेप्सितमन्वदावद् वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम् Everybody all together Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय श्री कृष्ण अर्जुन की जय श्री राधा राधनाथ की जय श्री गिरिराज गोवर्धन लाल की जय श्री निताय गौर हरि की जय जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल हरे कृष्णा
Let's give a good round of applause for Kanaya Prabhu. Thank you for that beautiful recital. So now we'll have Krsangi Radhe. She will now speak about the Bhagavad Gita on chapters 4 to 6. So let's give her a Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Or do you have your own? Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Kanaya, for that beautiful rendition. Thank you to all of you for joining us on day 2 of our Gita Week discourse. We will start off with some bhajans. It's titled Jaya Radha Madhava. So I invite you to sing along with us. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Shodhan Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Radha Radhanata Radha Radhanata Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Their Lordship Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki Jai, Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So once again, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you for being here with us during Gita Week. It's a very special and auspicious time of year where we have wonderful energy that's present with us when we speak from the Bhagavad Gita, because we are counting down to Sri Krishna Janmashtami, the birth of Lord Sri Krishna. So this evening we are speaking on 3 chapters, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6, and chapter 6. So we will then move on in increments of 3. So we will then get to chapter 18 in good time, just before Janmashtami. So I would like to read a verse from chapter 4 that takes us through exactly what this chapter is about. So because of time, we are unable to go through each verse. So this one here, it is chapter 4, text 9, which in Sanskrit says, Janma karma chame devyam evam yoveti tatvata tvarkam teham purna janma naiti mam etiso Arjuna. And the translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Purport, and I will read just a bit of the purport. The Lord's descent from his transcendental abode is already explained in the 6th verse. One who can understand the truth of the appearance of the personality of Godhead is already liberated from material bondage, and therefore he returns to the kingdom of God immediately after quitting this personal material body. Such liberation of the living entity from material bondage is not easy. It's not at all easy. The impersonalists and the yogis attain liberation only after much trouble and many, many births. Even then, the liberation they achieve merging into the impersonal Brahma Jyoti of the Lord is only partial, and there is a risk of returning to the material world. But the devotee, simply by understanding the transcendental nature of the body and activities of the Lord, attains the abode of the Lord after ending this body, and does not run the risk of returning to this material world. In the Brahma Samhita 5.33, it is stated that the Lord has many, many forms and incarnations. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadhir, Anantarupam. Although there are many transcendental forms of the Lord, they are still one and the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. One has to understand this fact with conviction, although it is incomprehensible to mundane scholars. We need to understand it with conviction. Recite some prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurum Militam Jaina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manoblistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajiv Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Indridimna Swami Iti Namine. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskatya Disatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we pray for blessings from the Vaishnavas so that we could speak something that is pleasing to Srila Prabhupada, the Acharyas, and the assembled devotees. So here we find that this verse in chapter 4 actually summarizes exactly the Lord's activities and his birth. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in the material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, as we know. And it is so interesting because in the midst of this battle, there's so many conversations and important instructions that's been given. Lord Krishna says clearly that one who understands his birth, and in terms of his birth, his appearance in this world, to annihilate the demons and the miscreants, and to save his devotees. If we understand this transcendental nature, as Lord Krishna says, if we understand his appearance, we are guaranteed not to take further births. Srila Prabhupada says in the purport here, very interestingly, that this is not something for just the ordinary to understand, but those who have deep devotion are able to understand this point with conviction. And that word is so powerful. Because when you have conviction about something, nothing can sway you. So when you have that faith, that unshakable faith in the Lord, in His appearance, in His activities, then nothing in this material world will actually shake you. And Krishna gives Arjuna a guarantee to say that if the devotees understand my nature, my transcendental nature of my appearance, then they will come back to me at the end of their life. The purport continues to say, the ones, and this is in inverted commas because this is from the Upanishad, I quote, the one supreme personality of Godhead is eternally engaged in many, many transcendental forms in relationships with his unalloyed devotees, unquote. The Vedic version is confirmed in this verse of the Gita personally by the Lord. He who accepts this truth on the strength of the authority of the Vedas and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who does not waste time in philosophical speculations, attains the highest perfection stage of liberation. Simply by accepting this truth on faith, one can without a doubt attain liberation. The Vedic version, Tat Tvam Asi, is actually applied in this case. Anyone who understands Lord Krishna to be the Supreme, or who says unto the Lord, you are the same Supreme Brahman, the same personality of Godhead, is certainly liberated instantly. And consequently, his entrance into the transcendental association of the Lord is guaranteed. In other words, such a faithful devotee of the Lord attains perfection. So ultimately, Lord Krishna is saying here, and Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in his purport, when you have faith, conviction, and devotion, it is unshakable. Faith is such that sometimes when we look at our own lives, and you often hear this, that is said, why do bad things happen to good people? Have you heard that before? Sometimes you think about it, maybe in your own life, to say you've lost a loved one in a very early stage of their life. Or, it is, you're a good person. Everything you've done in this lifetime thus far doesn't warrant the bad things that are happening to you. And that's a different conversation on its own. But the meaning towards that is when you have faith and surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, knowing Him as Bhagavan, then you release that need to understand, why has this bad happened to me? You release it to know that He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I understand who He is. I have faith, I have conviction. That's what's going on in my life at this moment is determined by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because Srila Prabhupada says that not even a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord. Are we able to accept that? Are we able to actually introspect and say, you know what? Not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord. Do we have that devotion? Do we have that conviction in us? Right? If you really think about it clearly and carefully, are we able to be so fully renounced and say that, Krishna, you are the Supreme, do with me as you please? Are we able to say that? Right? We have these attachments. We have the material attachments in this world. We want answers. We want to know, why is this happening to me? Why has my day been so bad? Why am I financially struggling? Why is my health on the decline? But Krishna, you are supreme. Why are you not taking care of me? But if you have that faith and conviction, as Srila Prabhupada is describing in the purport here, 4.6, it states that one who understands the Lord in His divine supreme person and who has surrendered as such, he attains liberation upon death. You know that the highest form is going back home, back to Godhead. And why do we do what we do regularly? Coming back to basics. Why do we do what we do regularly? We're getting there now. We practice. We're practicing every day. Every day, if like a child who's studying for exams, they have to work out maths problems. They have to write essays to get practice, right? So when they sit for that exam and the similar math problem comes about, it clicks. Immediately I know what to do. Immediately this is the answer. This is the steps that I have to do. Because they've been practicing. So upon the time of death, we are practicing every day. We should be chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when we practice like this, many things happen. Our consciousness changes, our mind gets fixed on Krishna, our devotional practices comes to life. And at the moment of death, immediately, like the final test, your final exam, you are going to win. And by winning, by scoring 100%, you are going to remember the Maha Mantra, you're going to remember Krishna, you're going to remember his divine pastimes. And what happens? You're going to go back home, back to Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada very nicely describes here that one who has that faith, who has the understanding that to take cognizance of the Vedic scripture, have faith in the acharyas, have faith in Guru, and understand that Krishna is the Supreme Person, not blindly, with intelligence, they are guaranteed a space back home, back to Godhead upon death. So this is the perfect knowledge, where Krishna comes to annihilate the miscreants and re-establish dharma. Dharma, that big word, dharma is righteousness. And he comes to bring back righteousness. Now, the world is so chaotic at many levels. At many levels, as Kali Yuga progresses, scripture tells us what to expect. When you listen to the news, and sometimes when I'm listening to the news on radio on the hour, it gets scary as to what we are listening to. You know, parents are actually molesting their own children, being convicted, going to prison. You know, previously, back in the day, in Vedic culture, parents, it shouldn't be, were meant to. Parents are meant to protect their children. That's our duty, right? But today, it becomes normal. We hear it, and we know now a case is opened. It goes through the justice system. We wait for an outcome. It becomes a new story. Why? Because as this degradation of society, as we progress into Kali Yuga, it becomes normal. It becomes an accepted fact that these things, rape, incest, all these things are normal. So we move on to chapter 5, where the conversation with Arjuna gets even more interesting, because that in itself now tells us that this time we talk about renunciation and work in devotion. So when we are living on this material platform, number one is we have to do work, right? We all go to work, we go to school, we go to university, we get a qualification, we earn money, because that's the big saying, money makes the world go round. Have you ever heard that? Yes? But how attached are we? How attached are we? Sometimes life becomes so focused on job, so focused on money, so focused on wealth, that at the time of death, we have lost the plot. So Krishna builds us up in conversation with Arjuna where he says, know and understand in chapter 4, know and understand my appearance, my transcendental appearance. Become devoted to me, intelligently so. Understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Faith, conviction, and devotion. Right? Those three main words that come through strongly in chapter 4. We move on to chapter 5, which is entitled Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. Action in Krishna consciousness, not action in material consciousness. So, text 29, the translation goes like this. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the fangs of material miseries. Purport: the conditioned souls within the clutches of the illusionary energy are all anxious to attain peace in the material world. But they do not know the formula for peace, which is explained in this part of the Bhagavad Gita. The greatest peace formula is simply this: Lord Krishna is the beneficiary of all human activities. Men should offer everything to the transcendental service of the Lord because He is the proprietor of all planets and the demigods thereon. No one is greater than He. He is greater than the greatest of the demigods, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. The Lord is described in the Upanishads. Under the spell of illusion, living entities are trying to be lords of all they survey. But actually, they are dominated by the material energy of the Lord. The Lord is the master of material nature, and the conditioned souls are under the stringent rules of material nature. The 5th chapter is a practical explanation of Krishna consciousness, generally known as Karma Yoga. The question of mental speculation as to how Karma Yoga can give liberation is answered herewith. To work in Krishna consciousness is to work with the complete knowledge of the Lord as the predominator. Such work is not different from transcendental knowledge. Direct Krishna consciousness is Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga is the path leading to Bhakti Yoga. Krishna consciousness means to work in full knowledge of one's relationship with the Supreme Absolute, and the perfection of this Krishna consciousness is full knowledge of Krishna, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada explains to us here that when we are working in the material world, we are working under the material nature. Right? There's different levels of suffering in this material world. Adhyatmic, Adhibaudik, and Adhidevic. Whether it is calamities caused from another human being, calamities caused by nature, calamities caused by the mind, by oneself even. So these sort of calamities happen because of the force of material nature. But whatever work that we are going about doing in the material world, if we structure it simply in service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, understanding that whatever fruitive activities I am doing here, I am doing for a short period of time. This is not my forever. Right? I am here temporarily. This is my role temporarily. If I am going to work as X, Y, and Z, that's just now. That's just in this lifetime. But nothing is mine. Everything is yours. And when you surrender to, coming back to chapter 4, When you surrender with the faith, devotion, and conviction in that way, letting go of any material attachments, as chapter 5 is telling us now, that karma yoga, whatever fruit of activities that we are performing in this material world, it's temporary. It's by illusion of material nature, and if we have the right transcendental knowledge, we surrender it to Krishna. So we give whatever fruit of work, the benefits of our fruit of work, it goes back to Lord Sri Krishna. Following how it's progressing. Right? So I often say, even to young children, it's if you have a talent, if you have a passion, if you're a singer, sing for Krishna. If you're an artist, draw for Krishna. If you're a dancer, perform. If you're a writer, write for Krishna. If you're a CEO of a company, give nice donations for Krishna's service. You know, whatever you do, give back to the Supreme Person. Because the more you hold on to it, it becomes more I. But there's no I here. Because we are servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in our work, we become detached in this manner, and we surrender in terms of whatever karma yoga that we are looking at. And action in Krishna consciousness. So this is the peace formula that's presented in this chapter, where that liberation in action, acting for Krishna without selfish motives, brings freedom from karma. So as I said earlier, sometimes we're so focused on wealth, accumulation of luxury. Right? Srila Prabhupada said it was that catchphrase, simple living, higher thinking. And simple living doesn't mean that you have to be uncomfortable. Simple living is actually very comfortable. Why so? Because you're not wanting more. You are content with what you have. I'm content with what I have. If I have A, B, and C, and I'm able to manage with A, B, and C, the mind doesn't spiral out. How can I do more? What can I get? What luxury am I lacking? Scrolling on social media. The nemesis, scrolling on social media, comparing that person's luxury, I don't have this. That person's holiday, I'm not going on holiday. And what happens? You are getting more and more uncomfortable in the material world. The attachment for more is becoming stronger. Whereas here, the peace formula, Srila Prabhupada tells us very clearly that we let go of this. You know, we renounce. Whatever work we do it in devotion. And we're not saying we don't work because we are in the material world, but we say we do it in the spirit of devotion. We then move on to chapter 6. And the translation of text 46 by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A yogi is greater than an ascetic, greater than an empirist, and greater than the fruitive worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. Purport. When we speak of yoga, we refer to linking our consciousness with the supreme absolute truth. Such a process is named differently by various practitioners in terms of the particular method adopted. When the linking process is predominantly in fruitive activities, it is called karma yoga. When it is predominantly empirical, it is called jnana yoga. And when it is predominantly in devotional relationship with the Supreme Lord, it is called bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga, or Krishna consciousness, is the ultimate perfection of all yogas and will be explained in the next verse. Bhakti yoga is full spiritual knowledge, and therefore nothing can excel it. Empiric knowledge without surrender to the Supreme Lord is also imperfect. A fruitive worker without Krishna consciousness is a waste of time. Therefore, the most highly praised form of yoga performed mentioned here is Bhakti Yoga, and this still more clearly explained in the next verse. And the next verse states, the translation, and of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and in the highest of all. That is my opinion. Anyone who does not render service and neglects his duty unto the primeval Lord, who is the source of all living entities, will certainly fall down from his constitutional position. And that was the Bhagavatam. So in these chapters, we see the progression where we go from chapter 4, the faith, the devotion, the conviction. Chapter 5, we understand that whatever action we take action in terms of surrender. The peace formula is letting go and understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we renounce in that way, we are detached from any outcome in this material world. And then the true yogi, which is explained in chapter 6, is the Bhakti yogi. And we hear now that there's so many forms of yoga that we perform, especially now. Yoga is becoming a fad, right? Where we see that it's becoming more and more the asanas, the poses, the breathing techniques, and all of that's wonderful. It's wonderful in terms of health, in terms of meditation, in terms of mindset, in terms of breath work, and so on. But what's the most important, Srila Prabhupada explains to us, is Bhakti Yoga, and that's loving devotional service. And when you actually attempt Bhakti Yoga, it is so interesting because it brings in discipline. Yoga is a form of discipline. Bhakti Yoga, we have a morning routine, right? Mangalarti is 4:30 a.m. Now, if you don't live in the temple, well, you can do your morning worship as early as you possibly can within the home. Doesn't have to be 4:30. We are regulated in terms of chanting 16 rounds a day. We are regulated in terms of following the regulative principles. So there's already that form of discipline in this yoga form of Bhakti Yoga. But all that we're doing, we are focusing the energy not for ourselves, yes, for ourselves, for liberation, but we are focusing the energy to the Supreme Personality in terms of devotional service. So the Supreme Yogi, the devotee who always thinks of Krishna with faith and has the highest love for Krishna, that is the ultimate perfection. So of all yogis, he who always abides in me is the highest of all. And that's what Krishna says. Because in India especially, if anybody has been to the Himalayas, if you go to, certain outskirts where these yogis, or these, as they call them in India, these Babajis, they have the long hair and a long beard. They are scantily clad. They hardly eat, and they sit in meditation. But that's great. But there's no meditation in terms of devotional service. Bhakti Yoga, having the devotion to the Lord. They are meditating on different levels. And the level that is required for this age of Kali Yuga, and Krishna says, coming back, understand why I've come. I've come to annihilate the miscreants and to re-establish dharma. So it comes back to that. And eventually, so if we understand that in this age of Kali Yuga, We have to live, we have to work, we are living in the material world, but we understand Krishna, who he is, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, chapter 4. Chapter 5 tells us the peace formula is that you surrender, you renounce your fruitive activities in terms of being devoted to Krishna. And chapter 6, 4, 5, and 6, chapter 6 tells us that the highest yogi is the bhakti yogi. And bhakti yogi means devotional service. So that is an overview. I can't even say it's a summary because you can say so much. Each verse is such wealth of knowledge. And we can really dive into it. But this is just a synopsis and an overview of these 3 chapters. Are there any thoughts or comments or reflections or realizations? We've got a minute before Aarti. So thank you all once again for being with us to celebrate and observe Gita Week. Festivities go on throughout the week. So tomorrow, the same time, and we'll get into chapter 7, 8, and 9. We will observe Aarti at 7 p.m. And remember, Sri Krishna Janmashtami is on Saturday and Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja on Sunday. Please pass the message to family, friends. And we hope to see you all tomorrow evening again. Is there anything, no announcements? No, okay. I think we are ready to. Okay. So just to give you an idea for those of you who's thinking what's going on behind the curtain, well, we've just offered bhoga, or an offering of a meal to Lord Krishna. We have the relationship with the deity of Lord Krishna where it's again in devotional service. So as you cook at home and you think it's supper time now at home, and what can I prepare? Their Lordship Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki Jai. So we have that sort of loving devotional relationship with their lordships. So perhaps when we're offering and observing the Aarti this evening, we can connect in that mood of devotion. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Kipa Jayo Jayo Gora Chande Aratika Shobha Jayo Jayo Gora Chande Kipa Jayo Jayo Gora Chande Aratika Shobha Janavitatavane Jagamana Loba Dakine nitai chant Bamega da da Nikateya Dvaita Shrini Pasachadradara Posi Nichaitan Posi Ache Gorachant Ratna Simhasane Arati Korena Brahma Adi Devakane Narahari Adi Kori Chamaratulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Kosharidaya Shankha Pache Kanta Pache Pache Karatala Madhura Medanga Bhaje Paramarasala Shankha Bhaje Kanta Bhaje Madhu 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 Bhaje Shankha Bhaje Kanta Bhaje Madhu 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 Bhaje Bahu Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujvala Kala Deshe Bana Mala Kore Jalamala Shiva Sukha Narada Preme Gada Gada Bakati Vinoda Deke Gorara Sampada Gorange Arotika Shoba Jagajana Mandaloba Gorange Arotika Shoba Jagajana Mandaloba Nitagora Haribo, 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 Nitagora Haribo. Nitagora Haribo, 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 Nitagora Haribo. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyavadi Paskatyare Shatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Goda Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Goda Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Goda Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pararajikacharya Stota Satashishmad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON founder, BBT founder, Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pararajikacharya Stota Satashishmad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Anandakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Brahmsko Hoshi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki. Shri Mathura Vrindavan Dhama Ki. Ganga Maya Ki. Yamuna Maya Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Tulasi Devi Ki. Shamaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Namaste Narashengaya. Namaste Narashengaya. Pralada Lada Dayene. Hiranya Kashi Purvaksha. Shila Tankana Kalaye. Hito Nishingo Parato Nishingo. Yato Yamitato Nishingo. Bahir Nishingo Hiraye Nishingo. Narashingamadim Sharanan Prapade. Tavakana Kamala Farendakam Habuta Shringam Galita Hiranyakashipo Tanu Prenga Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Nishingadev, 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 Jaya Nishingadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki, Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna everyone, they are serving prasadam by the marquee, by the tent down below. They're serving some biryani, so please do take some if you wish. Hare Krishna, thank you for joining tonight, and tomorrow same time 6 o'clock. Hare Krishna.